Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here. Welcome back to the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil qualifying runs, and today we're going to be doing a run with Hong Kong. Someone basically requested that I do it on, well, they did say 2010, but I was like, you know what? I've done a lot of 2010 runs recently and I want to do more 2014 runs, so I decided to do them on 2014. Plus, it will be a more difficult run on 2014. So of course we want to do a custom qualifying run, and this is the first round of your FIFA World Cup Brazil qualifying, the preliminary round. So of course we need to randomize it. We do that every single gameplay. So in 3, 2, 1, boom. And we are against Sri Lanka. That's a pretty good tie for Hong Kong because Sri Lanka are half a star as well. We avoided a bigger team dropping down here. As you can see, Japan dropped down into matchup 6. A lot of people complain that it's unrealistic, but I mean, like, if you want a realistic World Cup, just go and watch the actual qualifiers, you know? Like, this is just a, you know, a better way of making it random. And I like it like this. You've got the UAE as well against Tajikistan. And, you know, it could create potential for some upsets. So I just checked the friendly matches and we've got 3 before we start our playoff match against Sri Lanka. So we have Uzbekistan, and then we have, several months back, we have Sri Lanka, which is a good chance to see what they're like. And then the first match we have to play is Andorra. So we're going to be playing Sri Lanka at least 3 times in this video, but I don't mind that. It gives us some decent experience. And our first match is going to be against European Minnows, Andorra. We are at home for this one. Before we start this match, let's have a look at the Hong Kong squad. So we have a few players that are in the 60s, you know, Chan Soo Ki top, who is very good on 2010. I've used him several times in Hong Kong runs off camera. We got Lee Chai Ho as well, who's a right back, 63 rated, very good. The rest of the team are all in the 50s, but high 50s, which is very good. And before we start, it is on world class. I am looking to bump it up to legendary if it does get too easy, but at the moment world class is a very good difficulty on this game at least. Here we go then. Hong Kong versus Andorra in Hong Kong Stadium. I've noticed that every time you play in Asia, you play in this stadium pretty much. This sort of like style of stadium always crops up every single time you play in Asia, which is fine, you know, it's cool, but at the same time it's like, you know, really, like, can we not have a different variety? You know, 2014 was 4 years after the 2010 game, but 2010 still does stadiums better than 2014 in my opinion. These friendly matches are a very good way of exploring who's good on the team and who's not so good, and of course building that crucial green form up so that we can potentially go deep into this qualifying run. I really hope so. I really want to try and qualify with Hong Kong. That would be really cool, especially on 2014 when it generally is quite harder than 2010 to do a successful qualifying run. Andorra are doing well to keep possession, and away from Hong Kong we seem to be struggling with the tackling aspect of our game, but that's expected from a half-star team. A lot of you guys really seem to like it when I do runs with half-star teams and star teams, you know, 1-star teams, instead of the big boys, because, you know, sometimes when you're playing as England or France or Germany, it can be a little bit on the easy side, even on the hardest difficulties. Over the top, and good ball. Come on. Hey, there we go, instant impact, and it's Chan Soo Ki with the goal. The formation change obviously worked at half-time, and that's 1-0. Brilliant. The over the top there, Andorra's defence could not deal with it, and it was taken down nicely by Chan Soo Ki. Used a bit of strength, and then slots it in for 1-0. Perfect. Hong Kong pressing. Already had the goal. And looking good so far. Passing and tackling has been pretty good, although we are against Andorra, which is the same rating as us. I can't imagine us doing this against the likes of Uzbekistan. I reckon we could do this against Sri Lanka, definitely. But yeah, Uzbekistan in that final friendly is going to be a real test of how we can deal with them. But it's booted away there, and it's going to be a 1-0 to Hong Kong over Andorra. Not a bad result there for Hong Kong, 1-0 over Andorra. It was a very slow and boring game, barely any shots, but hey, sometimes it's like that when you're starting a campaign off. So we won 1-0 over Andorra, and look at that form already. That is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen green form almost across the board for just a 1-0 win over a side like Andorra. Second match then, and it's against Sri Lanka, a friendly match to determine whether or not we can beat them in the preliminary round of the Asia qualifiers. So yeah, it'll be a good sort of test for both teams really, to see and flesh each other out. Just gotta say, like, there's a lot of Hong Kong fans in that stadium. Loads and loads, like, all holding up scarves and stuff. It looks good, even for like 10 years ago. I mean, I know the crowd isn't fully rendered, but it still looks good and still looks atmospheric for the time. Gotta say, Sri Lanka not really pressing us on the defensive bit, and they're not very good at retaining possession either. Here we go, into the box. That's 1-0 to Hong Kong, and Yi Jia has scored to make it 1-0 to Hong Kong. We've been very, very attacking minded in these first 23 minutes or so. Li Weilin. Is there a crossing opportunity here? Crossed in, and how did that go in? Yi Jia again. He's on a brace, but I honestly thought the Sri Lankan defender had that. But obviously not. Let's just take a look at that. Crossed in, and we did get over each other. I did definitely get over the top of him, but how's he letting that happen? Let's see a closer look. Yeah, how? How? Through ball, Sri Lanka on the attack. Chatmangora. And he's just dispossessed. It's just too easy at the moment. As we go into half time, it's going to be 2-0 to Hong Kong. Yi Jia, or Yi Jie, I don't know how to say it properly. He has a brace right now. Can he make it a hat-trick? I really hope so. Go on, Hong Kong. Oh, that was a great strike, and it's going to be a corner to Hong Kong. We've had like 5 shots already. Great passing, and then the finesse shot just wasn't able to get past the keeper. Cross that in. And that's gone in. Okay, Chan Soo Ki has got the third for Hong Kong. And, well, that goal probably shouldn't have gone in anyway. It was just a cross, a brilliant cross, by the way. Great jumping by Chan Soo Ki. But I thought the goalkeeper would have had that. Maybe because of the low rating of these goalkeepers, they let stuff like that in. Sri Lanka are pushing. But look at the amount of red shirts are in our box right now. It's a lot. Hong Kong seem like a very, very defensive team, but also in this game very good at attacking. They go for it, it's blocked, and there's an offside on the play. I almost thought that was a penalty, but it was offside. And that is going to be it. Hong Kong have beaten Sri Lanka by 3-0 in this friendly match. Maybe a prelude to what's going to happen in the first qualifying round. I hope so. I hope we can just breeze through into the second round and, you know, have a good time here, because obviously the more videos we can get in a series, the more fun it is. Our next friendly match isn't going to be so easy. It's against Uzbekistan, who are considerably better than Hong Kong. I think Uzbekistan on this game are like a 2.5-star team, I think. So it's going to be very difficult. Look at the form on the left-hand side for Hong Kong. I don't think I've ever seen form go up by that much within the space of 2 games. Especially on a difficulty like this. Usually it's really strict, and if you make like a couple of errors, then the game really does punish you for it. But I guess Hong Kong have been perfect up until now. A very good setup defensively. We just need to be strong in defense and just get that counter-attack going if we can. It just seems like Uzbekistan, of course, they're clearly better than us, so we need to shut them down. Crossed in by Uzbekistan, and it's flicked on. This is not good. Oh, it's hit the side netting. I see someone on the wing. Can we get it? Yes, look at that. Perfect. Can we cross it in? Go on. Header. Oh my goodness, that's gone in. Lo Kuan Yi. He has scored to make it 1-0. And what a header that was. And, you know, the cross was just a wild one. I didn't expect it to, you know, have that outcome. And Hong Kong has scored with their first attempt of the game. Look at that header. Look at that. Over the top of that Uzbekistan defender. How on earth is he scoring that? That's a beautiful header. The way he ran in and just went for it, like, that is just a beautiful header. Here comes Uzbekistan on the wing. They cross it in and it's caught, thankfully, there. Great goalkeeping, and as we boot it away, it should be pretty much half time. And Hong Kong have been a real hassle for Uzbekistan, nabbing that goal and then, of course, you know, holding on to it for as long as we have in this first half. It's 1-0 at half time. Surprisingly, like that header, by the way, I just can't stop thinking about the way like he just ran in from outside the box and just headed it into the back of the net. Uzbekistan pressing straight from the kickoff. They cross that in early and oh, that's so lucky. I thought for a second that my goalkeeper spilled it, but look, he was marginally offside on the cross. Uzbekistan in my box. He tried to turn me, but it's not happening. We just boot it away. I'll settle for a 1-0 in this one. Absolutely. And that is going to be it. We have beaten Uzbekistan by 1-0 thanks to a random cross into the box, a header that flies into the top corner, and we locked it down after that. Fantastic work by Hong Kong to get that result. So after that brilliant win against Uzbekistan, we have to play our qualifying match, our round 1 qualifying match against Sri Lanka. As you can see that I only had one shot and that's all I needed. So coming up next, we have another matchup against Sri Lanka, this time a qualifying match, and as you can see, the form is kind of leveled out a bit. I don't really get that because I just beaten a team that's like miles better than us in world football. Surely the form would be on a sky high, but okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's glitched out or something. I don't really know. Here we go then, round 1, game 1 of our playoff match against Sri Lanka. The preliminary playoffs to go into round 2. And of course Sri Lanka will want to prove that they're better than what they played in that friendly match against us a few games back. So they'll be looking to get revenge. But hopefully Hong Kong can perform as well as they did. And it's just tackled, but we got it back. Can we? No. Good defending from Sri Lanka. They seem to have adopted a better strategy than what they had in the last friendly match against us, because they were terrible in that friendly match. So it's half time and we're still drawing 0-0 with Sri Lanka. A bit disappointed with Hong Kong in their sort of shooting. It hasn't been brilliant. We should have had maybe 1 or 2 in that one. That was a clear-cut chance to score. But yeah, still remains 0-0. Through ball by Hong Kong. They have it here. And it's blocked. But hold on. Hey, there we go. We scored. And Leung Chongpong has scored to make it 1-0 to Hong Kong. And I don't know why the Sri Lankan keeper didn't come out to get that one. Maybe it was a bit too dangerous, I don't know. But look, he had time to do it. But great anticipation by Leung Chongpong to put it in. And that is 1-0 to Hong Kong. Thank you very much for actually scoring. Because I thought that this game would be awkward. And it has been so far. We got the ball again though. Chan Soo Ki. And we have another chance. And that's 2 already. And it's that man again, Leung Chongpong with another goal. And, well, is he going to go full Lewandowski against Sri Lanka? You know, when Lewandowski scored 5 goals against, I think it was like Wolfsburg or something. Imagine if Leung Chongpong, like, recreated that. I mean, that was just too easy. Sri Lanka just gave up on the kickoff and allowed us to score. Here we go. Through ball. Lee Chia. Oh, he still comes away with the ball there. And what a lucky deflection. Lucky deflection. And Chan Soo Ki has finished off the game and potentially finished off the whole entire qualifying first round for Hong Kong. It's 3-0. And that is going to be it. Hong Kong have won by 3-0 over Sri Lanka in the first leg of this preliminary round tie. So we got another game to play against them away from home. I mean, unless Sri Lanka can mastermind some sort of like beast comeback, they ain't going to do anything. Away from home against Sri Lanka then for our second leg of this tie. It's practically over already. I mean, Sri Lanka haven't really done a lot up top against us, and I can't imagine them doing it here at home. Got it here with Hong Kong, and somehow that bounces to us, and it's headed away. Great touch, but unfortunately we couldn't utilise it. Got it back. And it's blocked again. Sri Lanka usually are good defensively for like the first 30 minutes and then they just drop off. Through ball. It's a good chance. And it's put wide by Hong Kong. The shooting, you know, sometimes is a bit hit and miss, but overall it's been decent. So like the first game, it's 0-0 at half time. Sri Lanka have done well to stop us from overwhelming them so far. Still 3-0 on aggregate scoreline, but we've only had one shot. Okay, here we go. We got it. Into the box. And great save. And another great save. Good double save there. Could have probably scored and really put the tie to bed, but no. I mean it is slightly unnecessary, but I'd like more goals to get the form up a little bit more. Well, that's going to be it. A very, very boring game. You know, we only had like a few shots, but it doesn't matter. We still advance to the next round. Credit to Sri Lanka in this game for holding it down at home. You know, the aggregate scoreline could have got out of hand, but in reality, it was just a normal you know, scoreline. So Hong Kong advanced into round 2. We'll check out what happened in round 1 and see the round 2 stuff before we end this video. Alright then, so in round 1, do we have any surprises in this one? Scanning down the list, it looks very, very basic to me, with Japan being the biggest team in this round, and they're winning 5-0 over Timor-Leste. Very good result, obviously, for Japan. Very standard, actually, for Japan. Bahrain beating Macau 4-2. Lebanon going through against Indonesia. UAE beating Tajikistan 4-1 as well. Palestine beating Bangladesh 3-1. And we got Yemen beating Nepal 5-2. So yeah, all very standard results. So in round 2, as you can see at the very bottom of the list, we have got India for our round 2 matchup. So that's, again, another favourable matchup for Hong Kong. I like that. I like our odds in that one. Any good matchups in round 2 here? We've got Saudi Arabia versus Oman. That could potentially be an Oman win, because I know that Oman are very overpowered on this game. We've got Japan versus the Philippines. We have Palestine versus Afghanistan. Syria versus the Maldives. Iran versus Taiwan. Yeah, some interesting matchups there. The only big matchup in that round, I would say, is obviously Saudi Arabia versus Oman. But anyway, guys, that is going to be your first qualifying video with Hong Kong. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it today. If you did, then give it a like and subscribe. Keep it local as always. Tune in for the next part, and I'll see you again for the next video.